So the Steam Machine has finally debuted itself with its price point being over $1,000. And let's try to unpack this, because I made a response earlier by saying, for where the market is for, let's say if you were buying the parts new or whatever, that number is comparable, like being at what was it, like 1049, 1050 or whatever. But that's not the same as saying that I would commend or like recommend the device, because I don't. I think if your sole purpose was to just play games, and I can't, you would be better off going to buy a Switch 2 or a PS5, right? You could get a PS5 Pro. And the issue with the Steam Machine, and I would love to hear your response to that, being a console, is that it suffers the weaknesses of the PC and none of the benefits of really like the console environment. Because that base number is without a controller, and every console is giving you a controller from the jump, right? No keyboard, mouse, no controller. What is it, like a 0.5 terabyte essentially of storage space? Like, it just doesn't make sense in the current market to touch this machine unless you just want it for posterity's sake. But every other thing that it does in the landscape already, something else does better, and that's its issue. Also, like a console, it's a closed environment from the hardware perspective. Not saying that you can't replace certain parts, but like, say like the power unit in there, some of the other components themselves, like, it's not just easy like a PC to replace. So you can't upgrade like the CPU, GPU is what I'm saying. But the hardware as a console is already behind, right, by a few years in terms of that. And you don't get the exclusive benefit of like PSSR or, mucking around with DLSS or FSR. So like the people for which this was meant for, right? Like, there's a whole audience out there that went and bought a Switch because it was affordable, and like Nintendo ballooned who they could sell to, is just not there for the Steam Machine. And that's unfortunate. And they're still making a profit of it. Well, that's what they're attempting to do. Long story short, man, like, I don't think that it was a good idea to release it now, but it doesn't matter what I think about it. I guess they had to. I would love later on at some point if we ever hear why this was done like this. But if you're already going to get weaker performance, you should definitely do pre-built. They're going to have some oldish components in there, and you can get about the same performance with way more customization in it. And unfortunately, the Steam OS isn't some miracle that can take that weaker hardware and send it to the moon. So yeah, a thumbs up or a thumbs down for the Steam Machine. As is a thumbs down.